Hey, you're listening to Sparrow Spot. Sparrow speaks, and this is your host, Sparrow. My pronouns are he, him, and they, theirs, and this is your reminder to drink some water. If nothing else in this video resonates, at least you'll have some hydration. I was feeling a bit of anxiety, actually, to make this video. I worked on my lighting and makeup this time around, and I caught myself starting to get getting sucked into that cycle of perfectionism. Which I really thought it wasn't gonna come up when making vlogging, or at least not as intensely, and I didn't realize it was coming from me getting better but it not being as good as I'd like it to be. And like I've mentioned in the past, I hope you can understand me clearly, like I've mentioned in the past, head empty. Oh yeah, I want to do videos earlier in the day, especially for this reason that I'm getting tired and losing my train of thought. But whenever I'm trying to make something look a little better, I can end up wanting it to look just a little bit more better, like a little bit better and better, you know, until I'm like getting myself frustrated. And like right now, my like nose shine is like frustrating me. And I almost went to go try and fix it, and then I realized like I've been trying to set up for maybe an hour, and I really don't want to do that for these. Anyway, we're now in, I believe, episode 9. Yeah, and I'm excited about that. I said I was gonna do 3 parts of my perception on the soul, but really it was like I was inspired after doing the first 2, and I have some thoughts written down that are similar but not maybe in the same exact category. And so also those are newer thoughts, so I'm not sure if I want to say them yet on the internet, or if I want to tweak them a little as weeks or months go by. But so this episode's actually going to be probably kind of short, because I just wanted to bring up something that happened in my life that similar to, if you listen to, I think it was like episode 2, where I mentioned the wasp metaphor. Oh yeah, no, probably definitely episode 2, I don't know. You can check our playlist. But yeah, things happen in my life that I can relate to myself. And so that last metaphor was saying that the wasp trying to get out of my room was freaking out and trying to get out this screen window, and I was trying to cup him and like get him out safely. And so we are the wasp, our body, our ego, I guess, and our higher self, the universe, our guides, are like the human trying to get the bee out safely. And all that time of leaving the house, I guess, would be the transition. But so this time there was a stray cat in my backyard, stray cat that's been here for longer than I have, probably around the same time. She looks like not that old. She's had 2 pregnancies at least, so yeah, but she's still pretty young. Anyway, she's very skittish. She almost never is seen like around people if she can help it. Not even if it's far away in a big backyard like ours. Trying to settle my breathing. Maybe I can hear myself better if I do this. No, prefer this. Alright, but so like over the past like year, she's still super skittish and doesn't hang around people, but if you're across the entire backyard from her or like halfway, she will kind of stay where she is as long as she can keep an eye on you. And I really like feeding strays, so I was like, I wonder if I could like get like halfway between where I am and where she is before you hit the grass, to throw some meat over to her without spooking her. And so I went very slowly down the stoop and towards the grass. She was definitely watching me, and so I threw out like a couple pieces of meat in her direction. Yeah, it was definitely close enough where she could smell it, and then like slowly backed to where I was before, you know, journaling and singing and stuff, to make sure she knew like, oh, I wasn't paying attention to her. And you should have seen the way she like stretched her body off the bench to like see if she could get to the meat without getting off that safety spot. And eventually she did like take the risk and jump off and like sniff around a bit till she found it. And like that took so much vulnerability in general. And then she didn't know where the other pieces were, so she went back to her safety spot. And then I wanted to throw like another slice, and so I did the same exact thing, going down very slowly. And this time, one of the pieces like landed on her safety spot on the bench. And oh my gosh, she wanted to eat it so badly. But this time, she actually was even more hesitant to eat it. Eventually, she decided to just sit back down and pretend it wasn't there. And I wanted to see if I can get like a little closer that day, because I knew that was also like there's a possibility if she gets too spooked, she would leave and come back for the meat another time. I wanted to see if I could get like her feeling a little more comfortable around me. Within that time that I was out there. So yeah, that second time it's like, oh, this is too good to be true. I think on the second time this human's probably gonna try something with me. So she was not having it. So I tried to go to the same spot I had gone before, but now here's where I messed up. I tried to like swoop to the left into the grass, but further away, to pick up like another slice of meat that had gone off stray. That was already really kind of weird for her. She was staring at me like, what are you doing? And then I started to get weird and human-like, I don't know. I started trying to do a little dance or whatever, and that was too much, and she jumped off the bench like ready to run away. And so I just gave up. I threw that last piece, like a whole piece of meat, over to her and slowly went back to my spot. I think she sniffed around over there, but altogether she like left. She was gonna come back for it later when I wasn't around. I think she did eat some of the salami that was on the bench. There was at some point where she was comfortable about it, but then it was like seemed to be too good for her or something like that, so she stopped. She didn't trust it. Getting to the 12-minute mark, so I'm gonna wrap up what I mean with this metaphor in our life, or whatever you call that. But I felt like in the last few years, especially in my life, like I went through my Saturn's return and everything, and I felt very like beat up by life. And so recently, I have felt more like the stray cat, or any like stray animal. But like my point of this whole thing is, if you are like me in this place where you feel like you are trying to get up to this like next chapter of your life and you can't quite make it over, and you feel like your manifestations aren't working or anything like that, you just feel kind of stuck. I offer the idea that your guides, if you believe in guides, your universe, whatever, your higher self, is not trying to give you all of your blessings right now, or your really big blessings, because you would get so spooked. You would run away from it. I know you would, because I would. Even though I want these things so badly, I realize that it has to be like parsed into my life bit by bit. This little good thing happens, and how are you going to react to that? And my comfort zone, my safe spot being my house, in particular my room, and feeling uncomfortable out of those spaces, even though I have to move, I have to like find a new safe space, and I just feel like very vulnerable and a little untrusting right now. And I'm very grateful for this lesson, because now I can sit back and be like, oh, okay, I need to take deep breaths and like rest, even though it seems like there's not a lot of time left to get all the stuff done. But I need to actually ground myself, because when these huge blessings come into my life, I need to be able to handle it. I've actually heard from people who've said that they won the lottery or something else. Like, if it was like the biggest thing they had ever had in their life, they actually like went into a state of shakes for like a day or so. Like, they went into shock. And so it can just be, at the very like best, it can be like going into shock. At worst, you could reject the blessing in your life, regress to prove you're not worthy of it, or just, everything falls apart because you weren't stable emotionally. And so I don't want to lose those blessings, so I'm gonna be patient for them. And the universe is like a web of energies, so there's never gonna be just one reason why something isn't happening. There's also reasoning in what I'm doing physically that is holding back my blessings, like I mentioned a couple episodes ago. That I had become obsessed with manifesting, which is a sign of not trusting. But even that part, on that level, it still connects with the other level, because the other level is you're not trusting, so the universe isn't giving it to you. I hope that makes sense. Like, I feel like science and magic are very intertwined. They just have different words for things, This is getting on like past 17 minutes, so I think I'm gonna wrap it up. But in the next episode 10, I'm excited. Unless something else comes up in my noggin, I was thinking about talking about the possibility of neurodivergence being a reincarnation condition. I know, very woo-woo, but I wrote it makes sense to me when I wrote it out. So I'm very interested to see what you all think of that. So yeah, thanks for joining me. If you listen this far, that's really rad. You can comment, subscribe, like, whatever you want, really. And yeah, see you in the next couple days.